So last night, on the Sunday night chill stream with Hammerhand, a lot of interesting subjects came up. One in particular is one that I wanted to address in a little more detail: the rise of the Ghost Nation.
You're watching Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen. Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk, back at you one more again. Yo, man. Yo. I think that the rise of the Ghost Nation is something that a lot of people don't want to see. They don't want to hear. They don't want to be burdened with. But it's something that's going to be there. It's going to rise. It's going to slap them right in the fucking mouth. It's just something that you can't get away from anymore. You see, when people, men in particular, are disaffected, when they're disenfranchised, hell, when they're disembodied, they make the choice not to continue with that madness. Even if they don't understand it, even if they don't know about feminism, if they don't know about gynocentrism, if they don't know about all the pitfalls, the traps, the snares, the tripwires, even if they don't know about that, they make the decision to say, no more. I'm not doing this anymore. A lot of them sit there in silence. They suffer. They try to get into other things to take their mind off of their obsession, and their obsession is engineered. You know what obsession I'm talking about. Of course you do. That obsession is engineered. That obsession is pushed at you 1,000 different ways everywhere that you go. God help you if you watch television. Oh, man. I was watching a video a few days ago by our friend, Knowledge is Power, Thomas Lundy. And Mr. Lundy, I think, really is talking some good, hard, red pill truth. Now, Mr. Lundy is into the scriptures, as his line of MGTOW. Mr. Former, quite a few folks. Myself, you see. I'm not going to go around and jingle jangle and tell you that you can't get in the club if you don't accept and repent, motherfucker. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to say to you, there's a lot of wisdom in the scriptures, and it's something that you should take a serious look at, in my opinion. Just my opinion. But the Ghost Nation is here, gentlemen. It's here. You walk amongst these ghosts every single day. The ladies. I love that motherfucker. The ladies do this every day, right? And they talk to you about it every day, but they talk to you about it in an abstract sense, you know? All these motherfuckers ghosted me. He got to Putin-Nanny and then lost my number. Well, that's what you did, bitch. That's what you did. That's what you decided to do with him. Who controls sexual access? It's not us. You get with one of them and they ain't right for you. They're out there exploiting the system. They take advantage of females the way that females take advantage of almost everybody else around them. Funny how that works, isn't it? Well, maybe it's not so funny. Oh. Gents, I look around and I see these guys out here. Police, fire, rescue, EMT, store clerks, mechanics, truck drivers, welders, shop clerks, computer technicians, chemical engineers, You know who I'm talking about. And they're taking that path. You see, there is a point in time where men will say, no. No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to go down that road with you anymore, any longer. Your wants, needs, obsessions should not define my existence, my life. I shouldn't be on the hook for all of this shit that you want. That's an incomplete sentence. For all of this shit that you want me to pay for and accept responsibility and accountability for. There you go. There you go. I cleaned it up. Cleaned it up. I'm working on it. I feel like this is as good a time as any to address a couple of folks that showed up in the live stream last night. Now, maybe it was one person. Maybe it was two different persons. Who knows? Right? That's why these folks are not taken seriously. Any of them. Ever. They don't want to talk to you. They don't care about how you feel. As far as they're concerned, their indoctrination tells them you don't feel. You have no feelings. You have nothing. Nothing of value to offer except money and dick. And they really don't even want the dick. You see? I can talk to just about anybody. I can carry on a conversation with people that have savage opinions. They're diametrically opposed to the way that I exist and live life. And I can still carry on a conversation with them. But with these addle-brained SJW types, these people who are right even when they're not right, these people who live, breathe, and eat emotion and outrage, these are not the people that you carry on a conversation with. And that's why I never did. That's why I never went to any of them and said, hey man, let's talk this out. Because you can see immediately that there's no reason to talk this out. There's no point in speaking with people that hate you, that can't stand your existence. They would keep you chained up on the plantation just in case shit. You know, like Chris Rock says, insurance, shouldn't it be called just in case shit? Do I get a refund just in case shit? No, of course you don't. And you never will. And that's the thing that a lot of men still don't realize. They still don't understand. It's my wallet, right? I guess you could call it a wallet. A billfold combination wallet. You can keep money in it. I put my phone in it when I'm not talking to you. I've got my identification in it. It's an accoutrement. It's an accessory. That's what you are to them. An accoutrement, an accessory. You're not a person. You're not a human being. Those thoughts have been engineered. Thoughts. Those thoughts have been engineered out of these people, out of these women. They don't view you as a human being. You're something that looks like them, that stands upright, but you're not them. And they aren't you, and thank God for that. It will be the ghost nation that rises. It will be the ghost nation that sets the tone and the pace in the next 10 seasons. Women are just waiting, man. They're just waiting. They're waiting longer. Their careers are on fire. They're the smartest. They're so educated. I wonder sometimes if these females actually sit down and they think with a logical, deductive reasoning. And they say to themselves, well, 1 + 2, 2 + 4, 35 years old when I get all this done, and I have no eggs.
No eggs. Empty egg carton. You don't have any eggs. No eggs. Empty egg carton. You don't have any eggs.
I wonder if they think about that. I wonder if they know, or if they just walk headlong into that biological meat grinder. I wonder if they understand that anything past the age of 30, 32 is the walking dead. Don't know. But I do know that the Ghost Nation is sitting back, eating its popcorn, smoking its cigars, drinking its fine cerveza, if it has any, and laughing all the way to the fucking bank. I do know that. Cheers, gentlemen, to the Ghost Nation.
Take out the stories they put into your mind.
His way is unremarkable. No one notices when he's there. When he leaves, it isn't noted. When he's gone, nobody cares. He's a ghost, living, breathing. No one knows how hard he's tried to cultivate the art of hiding, invisible in plain sight. His life's a void to those around him. They know he's there, but they don't see. Society is not his passion. No one knows what he believes. He's a ghost, learning, growing. What he knows is how they lie. The thin veneer that they call loving hides the hatred locked inside. If approached, he works his magic. With his mind they're wished away. Banal answers to their query, misdirection is his way. He's a ghost, dodging, weaving. Avoidance is his stock in trade. Puts no faith in human kindness, has no trust in what they say. He's a ghost, but don't feel sorry for the life that he has made. He doesn't want your sympathy, he's wishing you'd just go away. He's a ghost, living, breathing. No one knows how hard he's tried to cultivate the art, invisible in plain sight. The rise of the Ghost Nation.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How do you know if you're a ghost? How do you know if you're a MGTOW ghost? What does a ghost do? What does being a ghost mean? Well, I can point you in the right direction. It's minimizing the tax burden that is levied upon you. Taxation is theft. Folks, let me put that out there right now. Taxation is theft. You're being stole from every single day of your working adult life. Ghosting is what men do when they become wise to how they are used. When they understand what usury means, what it is, what it entails, and the dozens and dozens of avenues that converge against you, all in the name of helping somebody else out. Ghosting is actually being kind of cold, a little cruel. You see, it would seem normal to be cold and cruel in a world where you weren't being indoctrinated and brainwashed, socially engineered. When I say cold and cruel, what I want to say specifically is that you're not falling in love with the idea of being in love, that you're not loving at all. You can be kind, you can be friendly, you can respect, you can be respected, but love is a trip hammer. It's a trip hammer. And what does that trip hammer do? It shoots you right in the face. More specifically, it shoots you in the wallet. It shoots you in your bank account. It shoots you everywhere that you have valuables and assets. The benefits of ghosting are clear. When you have female lawyers and law firms that are now coming out talking about how you should know, and they're specifically speaking to women, they're not speaking to men, no. They're specifically speaking to women about cryptocurrency, about Bitcoin. That is a marital asset, they say, even if it comes out of your check, even if it's side work that you've done. That's the example that was given to me when I protested the fact that my first year in the driving business, I earned quite a bit because I worked my ass off to be able to pay for extra things for my kids. And it was used against me. It was used against me to enrich someone else. And that's when I knew for sure who and what I am to them. I absolutely have no doubt about how these people view the average, ordinary, everyday man. I have no doubt in my mind. I know how they view me, how they view you. I know. I see the trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that are being stripped off the backs of men, that are being pilfered off of these men, that are being stolen from these men, and that these ne'er-do-wells are being enriched with your effort, your labor, blood, sweat, tears, years worked away so that you can build a cushion for yourself, only so that you can have to turn it around and give it to them. Well, you didn't really give it to them, did you? No, it was stolen from you and dispensed to them. And when I say them, I mean anybody that won't work for themselves, anybody that won't earn their daily keep, anybody that's out there having babies out of wedlock, divorcing their husbands. And I always have to clarify and say, if you have a mate that is not good to you, whether you're a man or a woman, and you can't get the situation resolved, then you have every right, I suppose, to be in that position. You have every right not to get your ass kicked. And that goes for men and women. You see, the things that they don't talk about to you out here, are that men get their asses beat up. They're intimidated. They're afraid. They're afraid to defend themselves against a woman because they know what's coming. You big, bad, muscular man, what? You couldn't take a punch in the jaw? She came at you with a short knife, buddy. It wouldn't have done much damage. You know you're a ghost when you start putting these red pills in your mouth and digesting them. When you start hearing yourself saying this to other people, like I'm saying it to you. I'm not a ghost in the traditional sense because I'm showing you my face. I'm engaging with this media broadcast device. And I'm allowing you to understand things that you probably wouldn't get on your own. That doesn't come at the end of a bank statement. It comes because I want people to be awake, because I want men to act on their authority. That doesn't mean act out. That doesn't mean kill people. It doesn't mean go out and get a broomstick and beat a bitch. It means act on your own authority. Act on behalf of you, your sovereignty as a human. These people out here that laud things like the Constitution or liberalism, they give you rights. No one can give you rights. No one. I never hear anybody say that. If someone can give you rights, they can take them from you. We got the First Amendment rights. We got gun rights. That's the Second Amendment. Well, then they can take it from you. If they can award you the right to speak freely, if they can award you the ability to protect yourself against evil, then they can take that from you. All you have to do is look around and see the millions of whipped sheeple. Coward after coward after coward after coward. Oh, there's a few good ones sprinkled in there. But it's like trying to find those uncut diamonds at Mount Everest. It's difficult. It's hard. Sorry, gents. Some of that sun's a little big in them eyes there. You're a ghost if you're minimizing your exposure, eliminating your exposure to fuckery, to gynocentrism, to feminism. And that includes the feminism displayed mostly by gyno-cucked men. You see, the system was installed. The trip hammer was tripped. The mechanism of the machine in the state just went into action. And it never turns off until it runs out of fuel, till it runs out of energy, until it breaks down. And there will always be these elements of humanity that seek to do this to other humans. And you have to be willing to pay the ultimate price in order to secure your freedom. And if you're not willing to pay the ultimate price, let's be very specific here, death. If you're not willing to fight to the death for your rights, then you are of them. It's that simple. I'm not going to tell you that you need to walk out there and go bust somebody's ass to demonstrate that you can do it. So don't get this shit twisted. That's not what I'm talking about. When push comes to shove, if you don't push back, you're done. It's over. Look at how many mask wearers there are out here without a shred of evidence to justify what's going on. They just accepted it. Nope. Let's go mask up. Oh, what? I need two? Here, let me get that other mask. Hold on, I'll put that one on there. Oh, what? I need some goggles? Now let me pop some goggles on there too. That's cool. Oh man, I need my ass swabbed. And I don't think I want to do that. I mean, that's a little suspect. But, pardon the pun, if it's for the good of humanity, I'll go get a butt swab and I'll triple mask and I'll wear my goggles and yada, yada, yada. Ghosts don't do this. Now, I also understand that you may not have the ability to 100% ghost. You may be dependent on the system. You may have to go to the store to get your food. You may not have the willingness or the willpower to stand. Take that goddamn thing off. Walk in that store, get your food, get all them dirty looks, get all them side eyes. You may not be able to do that. And for a short time, if you can endure it, you go do it, and then you walk out and you continue ghosting. You may have to expose yourself every once in a while to things that you don't like, things that you vehemently disagree with. I do. Once in a great while. The ghost nation, gentlemen, exists. It is here. And no one can convince me otherwise. The Red Pill Brothers, the MGTOW Special Forces, the elite monk. I have to say that. And I'm not puffing my own chest out and tooting my own horn. I think that once you get to a stage where you really do understand these things, and you're not turned on by females, you're not revolted by females, you just see things like Cypher when he sees the Matrix. He doesn't see men or women or blondes. He sees the code. As a monk, I see the code. I see what this is out here. And God help all of you.
I watched you change. I watched you change.
I wonder if they noticed when they stopped holding hands. Was it that the spark died down, or the weight of life's demands? Jobs and kids and obligations, the cacophony of life's frustrations. Somewhere in there, that simple gesture lost its elegance. When did it stop being love and become routine? Teasing banter and shining eyes gave way to bills and arguing. The kids have grown and moved away. The house feels emptier every day. Drifting apart is so damn hard, not knowing what to say. Intimacy, a faded dream. The arguments are old. Empty eyes and terse exchanges are all that's left, if the truth be told. When they look at one another, can't remember what they saw. 20 years ago, has it really been that long? I wonder if they noticed when they stopped holding hands, gave their passion to their children, their careers, and to their plans. Became blinded to each other, worker bees, instead of lovers who started out fingers entwined, walking hand in hand. The rise of the ghost nation.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen. Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk, back at you one more time. You know, we get this thing from other sectors of the manosphere. I just watched a live, well, it was a live, not live now, of one Kevin Samuels on Donovan Sharp's channel, or vice versa. I think it was on Donovan Sharp's channel. Popped up in a random feed. Said a couple of minutes, let's take a look at it and see what these men have to say. And it was not unlike what you would expect. It was 12, 13 minutes or so of, you got to do better. You got to do the work. You got to show them you're worth it. You got to stack your green. Got to stack that coin. Got to get the house. Got to get the car. You got to understand you. And we're going to tell you some hard truths out here. It's all on you. Why? Why is it all on you? Anybody ever asked that question? I'm sure that some of you have. I've asked the question. Why is it all on me? And I come up with very different questions and different answers than men like Sharp and Samuels. They seem to think that you're perpetually stuck, that you're out there, that you're not going anywhere because maybe your head's a little too bald. Maybe your waist just a little too big. Maybe that's why you're a MGTOW. Maybe that's why you're a red pillar. Oh, and I know what it is. You're a MGTOW. You were sent your own way, right? You don't have any agency, any accountability. Isn't it amazing? It is amazing to me how the people that front for females and the female causes, the 10 billion that Goldman Sachs just promised to support and grow black women and their business, how everyone around them wants to absolve them of their responsibility, their accountability, and their agency, and give it to you. You must have accountability and agency for the both of you because you've got different genitals. I consider myself fortunate that I am able to see somebody, even an eloquently spoken person, snowing me. I feel very fortunate to be able to see that. But there's not a lot of you out there that do see it, though. Not a lot. Excuse me. Some of you will say, now that you mention it, but why did I have to mention it? Why wasn't this a thought in your head? There are people all around you that are monetizing you in every direction that you go. All around you. The differences between men and women now, it's like looking out across the Grand Canyon. It's chasm. It's enormous. There are still some red pill, some MGTOW, that suggest that females should embrace their traditional role. Childbearer, mother, wife. I'm not one of them. Because I told you this before, I see what's going on out here. Your birth rates will decline. You will have catastrophic declination in birth rates. I would say, it's just me, that we're probably peaked out as far as population is concerned with Western influence, birth control, feminism firmly entrenched in every Western country and quickly overcoming Eastern cultures now. These women are not interested in bearing your children. You don't have to go to them anymore. If a child, a legacy, is your desire, you can go somewhere else now and do that. You don't need them. Not for that. And let's be frank, they don't want you for that at all. You still have some females out here, some women, that will gladly say, yes, I'm a submissive wife, I want a husband, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other, and they still show up at the voting booth. You got cuck pastors, gyno cuck pastors, that sit around and talk about how men, specific men, MGTOW, red pillars, decree suffrage. You got the Jennifer Moleskis of the world talking about how they've laid it all at my feet. It's my responsibility? Is it my responsibility? Sir, good pastor, please, preacher of the word, tell me which way to go. And that's nothing more than a show and a put on. I find it very disingenuous that she would have asked that. She knew better than that. She knew that we don't put it at her feet. Put it to the feet of womankind, but womankind is very, very happy to do what they're doing right now, unless they're uncomfortable. Then they cajole, jockey, push around, bully, and intimidate. You had a great example of that the other day when I told you about the female that tried to push and bully me into putting a mask on and jumping out of the same line that she was in. And you will find this with women much faster than you will find it with men. Much. I would be remiss if I didn't mention a couple of days ago that I went into another Kroger right down the street, and the fella behind me, while I'm turned around and I'm positioning my groceries and I'm getting ready to leave, I hear, "Hey, big man." And I turn around and I'm expecting it. And he says, "Kudos to you, man. The whole thing here, good job." And he's wearing his down around his neck. And I said, "There's too much of this already. It's unnecessary. It doesn't need to happen." The cashier was looking at us and like, the bad girl was looking at us and like, so yeah, I felt like I had to mention that too. Where you get the negatives sometimes, you also get the positives. But I find it very interesting that it was a woman that tried to push me into shit and a man that was giving me kudos for not doing it. Interesting. Interesting. Gentlemen, you have to get out there and live this stupid phrase. I hate this phrase. Your best life. Whatever the fuck that means. I don't believe in that. You just live. You just live. You just live. You have to rise above all of these idiotic expectations that are put on you by females, by other men, by the government, by these elected officials, these people that put themselves in positions of power over other humans that they are no better than. But they were elected, Hammer. Were they? Were they? You don't know that. I don't know that. And now the whole world looks at it and they're like, okay. We don't know that anymore. We don't know who's electing who. I am very much of the opinion that these people install their own, plain and simple, that there's a great big power struggle out here for culture, and you are the participatory audience. You just don't know it. It's the new television in real time. Yes, mainstream television is dying. Cable is dying on the vine. But things like this are taking its place. You see? You affect real change by starving out the system that supports this. One person at a time makes a huge difference, an enormous difference. You may not know 10 people that are doing it. I might not know them, but they're there. And then there's 10 more for them, and 10 more for them, and 10 more for them. We know for a fact there are millions of people out here right now actively avoiding this. Push will come to shove. It will. You have women right now, everywhere in the Western world, clamoring for government to make them safe. Make us safe. Put a 6 o'clock curfew on men all over England. Stop men from masturbating in Ireland and Australia. Find them if they do. We are the sexual vessels. We can't be replaced, is what they think about themselves, because their fucking heads have been gassed for 70 years. Much longer than that, but 70 concentrated years. What went off last night? The Grammys. You've got that despicable piece of fucking trash, Megan the Stallion. She a stallion, y'all. And Bacardi 90 proof, scissoring on stage. And what else are they doing? They run a promo. For real now. They run a promo of a black man getting pulled over by white cops being executed in the street as part of an ensemble performance. Don't fall for this okey doke. Don't fall for this. The only real power that these people have is the power that you give them. And god damn, there's so many stupid, uninformed people out here. Don't be one of them.
Take out the stories they put into your mind.
You know, it's not often that men get a break from the everyday. It's not often that they get out there and think just about them and what they're going to do. It's not often that they can look around and see all the pressures that are being applied to them to act and move in certain ways, especially ways that don't benefit them. Let's talk about how you cash them all out.
Many men wish death upon me. Blood in my eye, dog, and I can't see. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be, and niggas trying to take my life away.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen. Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk, back at you. One more again. Yo, man. Yo. Smell that? It's freedom. Well, it's not total freedom, but it's pretty decent freedom, isn't it? I could not imagine the free movement that I have today, even 6 or 7 years ago. Wasn't the same life, sort of the same body, a little bit of age on it, you know what I'm saying. That's kind of the way that it goes for us. We age faster than everybody else, but big fucking shocker, we do more. We put more stress on us, more stress is put on us. We take on more, typically. And for those young men that are out there today that haven't had the opportunity to experience stress and learn how to deal with the stress, it's all consuming, it crushes them. They collapse under the weight. How do you cash these things out? How do you get rid of stress? The short answer is that you don't. No matter what you do in life, you're going to have stress. Now, what do? You move. You manage the stress, right? You can reduce your stresses. How do you reduce your stresses out here, gents? What do? Do you have $900 in the bank and then go buy a $1,000 whatnot that you don't need? You can't eat. You can't exploit it for resources down the road. You can't do nothing with it. You know, maybe it's something hanging on your wall there. It satisfied you in an emotional way, but it served very little purpose other than to clean you out and back you into another corner. That's pressure, whether you know it or not. Succumbing to your own emotional and biological needs, let me walk that back a little bit. Your own emotional and biological wants. There's a big difference between a want and a need. And most of us don't understand that, unfortunately. You cash these things out by starting to understand how pressure is leveraged against you. By whom? Why? And then you start eliminating those pressures one by one. Now, unless you were born with a silver spoon, you got rich parents, you have people that are willing to pay your way, I can almost guarantee you that that's not anybody watching this. Unless, of course, you've taken measures to become independently wealthy. So where you don't have to run out here in the world every fucking day, 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 or overnight and do the shit that you need to do to put food on the table and pay those little bills. Now, they seem like they're little until they start coming in all at the same time. Excuse me there, guys. They do. They seem like they're little until they start coming in. And sure as shit, they add up, they accumulate, and then 1 or 2 paychecks are gone. They're out the door. They're history. All that work, all that labor, to do what? To go get an accoutrement or something? You see, these possessions that I have, these things that I have, they have been acquired over the span of years. Years. Not weeks or months, but years. That's how you meter that out. If you're not making enough money, but you still want the wants, and obviously you still have to feed yourself. Take care of business, put gas in the car, pay the car note, pay the insurance, blah, 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 all the way down the fucking line. You start cashing out the things that you don't need. The things that really, really harm you. Like cable TV. Who needs cable TV? Nobody. Find simpler, less expensive tastes. You don't have to have a tongue for the extravagant. You don't have to do those things. You don't have to go out and have $100 crab dinners. That's a once every 6 months kind of thing for me. You know, I showed you the pictures a couple of 3 videos ago in the community section there about my son and I going out and having a wonderful crab dinner. It was delicious, right? But I haven't done anything like that in years. So you know how it is. You know how it goes. You have to find ways to divest, pardon the unfortunate word there, to divest from usury. You have to find ways to concentrate on how to maximize the economic potential that you possess. Whether it's this much or this much, no matter what it is. You have to find ways to capitalize on that. You have to pull the stress off of your body, out of your mind. All that matters. All of that matters. I can't tell you how much it matters. There are no words to describe what stress does to a human being, to their mind, their body, their hair, everything. You cash them out when you start taking control of your life. You cash them out when you start realizing that you're contributing to systems that not only hate and despise you as a man, but those very systems know that they need you. They need you. Because everything that they have is based on your labor. In some form, directly or indirectly. You see? You have to stop working for the job, stop working for the corporation, stop working for the rent payment, and start working for yourself. And I try to tell folks, and they, God bless them, they don't listen. If you can put in, well, you should put in a clean 18 to 24 months. Bank everything. Everything. You pay for your food, your lodging, and your basic necessities. Notice the word necessity. And then you get down the fucking road. Then that little nest egg that you've been able to accumulate over that 18 to 24 months is going to do more for you and opening your options up in life than you ever thought possible. But you got to get there first. Not easy to do. Excuse me. Oh, man. Oh, he's still not double masking. Put him in jail. Oh, man. You hear about truck drivers out there now trying to tie this this not mandatory vaccine to your medical card now that you won't be signed off on unless you don't voluntarily get that. It's going to be voluntary, right? It's going to be voluntary. Yeah, we'll just threaten your livelihood and every fucking thing that you have if you decide not to, The choice is yours. We're just not going to employ you throughout the industry. There's no faster way to bankrupt the trucking industry than to try to make something like this go forward. And I'm sure that you've seen the ads and the articles and whatnot, the opinion pieces about it's going to be the private sector that mandates this. No one can mandate anything to you. Now here's the catch. You knew that there was one coming, right? The catch is that you have become so dependent on these accoutrements out here, on the Walmarts and the Krogers and the Albertsons and the Save-Ons and all of these places where you go to get your food, instead of being able to do that for yourself, that they can do that to you, that they can bend you over, kicking and screaming the whole fucking way, and you're just going to take it in the ass like a good little boy. That's what they can do to you, because you're dependent on them for everything. Everything. There's going to be a lot of changes coming here in the next 3.5 years with this current administration in the United States, with the way that leftism, Marxism, and communism are all working together, that the classic liberal has been crushed out. They've been stomped out. Somebody tells you that they're a classic liberal, you look them in the face and you tell them that they're a fucking liar. Because there's very few classic liberals out there that I can point to right now, that I know about anyway, that actually stand up against this. Libertarians are a joke. They just fall in with whoever's winning. Egalitarianism, that's a fucking joke. Meritocracy, goodbye, it's dead. We got very, very, very trying times coming, folks. Very trying times. And someone was making a comment to me in a community post about Bitcoin and about digital currencies, how it's nothing, and that when it inflates, or when the dollar inflates, when it hyperinflates, that the Bitcoin is going to inflate. And that's patently false. It's untrue. I'm sorry to tell you that. That's untrue. It doesn't work that way with the digital currency, especially with the decentralized blockchain. That's not how that works. You guys are doing yourselves a disservice by thumbing your nose at stuff like that, and not at least looking at it enough, looking at it beyond the specter of whatever you think it is. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should jump out there and put $10,000 into it. I mean, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. But people have a tendency to demonize things like a cryptocurrency, the same way that they demonize other people's places or things. Most of it is sight unseen. Most of it is backwater heretical talk. Doesn't mean anything. Get out there and check that shit. Just give it the once over. Just look at it. See what's going on. I know more people, myself, that have gotten rich from Bitcoin and altcoins than anybody that's gotten rich out of cash or putting in 90 hours a fucking week to please the government. So, that being said, don't count your eggs before they hatch. Don't eliminate options because you have a stigma or a fear attached to them. Approach it a little more like a monk. A little more philosophically, you see? Stop attaching emotions to it. Look at it for what it is. See it for what it is. If you decide to give it a shot, then give it a shot. If you don't, then don't. It's a win-win or a lose-lose. It's straight. Cash in your demons, gentlemen. Cash in your demons. Get rid of them. Nobody makes you hold on to them. Nobody makes you hold on to a 90-hour work week. Nobody makes you hold on to a home that you can't afford or is too big for you. Nobody makes you hold on to a $500 car note. Nobody. No one. If you're with somebody, if you have a partner in life, if you're married and watching this, if you have girlfriends or you have significant ties and you're watching this, remember that those people are more likely to pressure you into dumb shit than just about anyone else. Because it's their lives that they're thinking about, not yours. You have the ultimate power in your life. You have the power to say no.
Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot hoes all on me. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot hoes all on me. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot hoes all on me. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot hoes all on me. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot hoes all on me. Back then, hoes didn't want me.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen. Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk, back at you. One more again, man. Yo, man. Yo. Well, these grifters and vagabonds are picking up the pieces and trying to form a brand new union. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. You get the rest of it, don't you? Let's take a little look at this and see what's going on. I came across this on Undead Chronic's channel. Shout out Undead Chronic. And was devastated, absolutely devastated to see certain red pillars in there, but not entirely surprised.
You're watching Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk.
Let's check it out.
There's a major crisis in the RP community.
Oh shit! Hold on. Who is that? Eddie Murphy? No, not Eddie Murphy. Glasses are kind of right. No. The hairline's all fucked up. It's wrong. It's all the way to the back of his spinal column. Who is that? Donovan McNabb. He used to play for the. No, it's not Donovan. No. Sharp. Shannon Sharp. I recognize that motherfucker from ESPN. No, it's not Shannon Sharp. Who is that? Oh, that's right. That's Mr. Do As I Say and Not As I Do. Mr. Donovan Sharp. How you doing, Donovan? You and I have never spoken, although I've spoken about you several times, many times. Personally, I have my fill of snake oil and venom, so I won't be calling on you, sir.
It's not masculinity.
It's not a lack of intelligence.
It's not money.
And it's not fitness.
It's friendly fire.
What the fuck? Pop! What the fuck are you doing? Tell me that the menagerie is not that dry that you gotta shack up with these cocksuckers. Really, man? Come on now. I still love you, though. Still love Blake, too. A little bit. But the gay cruise thing has gotta go. Fuck that.
We've turned on each other. You see, over the last few years, men in this community have declared war on one another.
Men are slandering each other.
No, God say it ain't so. It's Coach Greg Adams. Oh, man, that's fucked. Pop and Adams? Nuh-uh. Say it ain't so. No, men haven't turned on each other and men haven't slandered one another. Men are holding other men accountable. You see, that's what it is that men are holding other men accountable for their bullshit, for their fuckery, for their endorsement of usury. And if you find yourself on the side that endorses usury, well, guess what? You're going to get called out for it. You see, what I do here, I don't charge for. When I took up a collection from the fellas, when I asked them for it, guess what they did? They came through. Bought a nice computer. That was about $1,400, $1,500, right? And everybody knows that because I was transparent with them and showed them what's up. I don't see no financial records from y'all. I don't see no tax statements from y'all. Now, of course, we don't go to Social Blade and try to get your estimated yearly worth because obviously that's not true. Some of it is, but most of it's not. Gentlemen, when it comes down to going head up with men that aren't charging for proper advice, you're always going to lose. This looks like nothing more than somebody trying to warm their fucking pockets up. You're putting ice fucking cubes in your pockets while the Titanic is going down.
Personal information public.
And even doxing each other.
This is flat out.
That's George Bruno, right? Mr. Graybeard. You know what? That is a manly beard. I appreciate that manly beard. But I don't really appreciate George Bruno. I find him to be the same ilk as Rollo Tomasi, all of these other suckers. You can see why some of these guys have bailed on the PUA, the pickup community. You can see why they fucking took off. It was interfering with them pockets.
Wrong. The world does not care about men.
It doesn't value our intellect.
Look, I'm going to agree with all of y'all right now. The world doesn't give a goddamn about men. And what makes it even worse is that you use these red pill I'm sorry, maybe I'm not fashionable enough. These RP talking points to seduce other men, to bring them in, to empty their motherfucking pockets out, to fill them full of bullshit and send them back out into the world as helpless, as broken, and as fucked up as when they found you.
Couldn't care less about our plight. And it sure as hell doesn't care about what we contribute.
So this community was created to give men a place to go for help.
Help with money, fitness, help with how to be a true gentleman.
Hold on a second. Help with money? How? Are you going to take up collections for your suffering brothers? I don't think you are. Are you going to pay their overdue car note? Well, I don't think you're going to do that either. What you going to do, man? You going to pay their electricity? No, you ain't going to do that. You going to show them the paperwork to get on welfare? You might do that. Oh, help with money. You didn't mean them. You meant you. You meant you. Oh, we're going to help you out of your money. Man, y'all got to speak clearer. I almost missed that one.
Dealing with life as a veteran. Taking their place as head of household.
And even assistance with coping with divorce.
Man, that fucking, look, see that dude in front of the bottles? Like 4 bottles. Got them tears rolling down. You know, when they started to cut there, like, close your eyes, man. I don't want to shoot this fucking saline in your shit. All right, shh. There you go. Now you look like you're crying. We gonna sucker these bitches now, because that's what this is. You know, I was going through the comments section of this particular video. That is 4 minutes and 56 seconds long, as you can see on the screen there. Let me get that off there. And, yeah, what did I find? Man, this is like the end game of the manosphere. Oh, it's lit! Oh, man, I can't wait to fork out all kinds of pay for this! No, and no. Any man that is biting down on this is completely uninformed and not suited to conducting the affairs of their life by themselves. They're just not. If you think that you're going to walk into an auditorium, shell out $2,000 fucking dollars, if you think you're going to shell out $2,000 and some fucking pack of dicks is going to sit up there and talk to you about how to be a man, you're more fucking delusional than the women that think that they can have it all.
And for a few years, things were awesome.
Men banded together to help one another.
We were thriving. We were making real progress.
No, no, you weren't. No, you weren't. You were the loudest voice in the room. You were the squeakiest fucking wheel. You took a great concept, red pill, and you monetized it to your advantage. The best MGTOW, the best monk, the best red pillars are not sitting out here doing this. Do you know why? Because they actually do work for men. They work on the behalf of men, the behest of men, the betterment of men. Plain and simple. I can see people making some scratch where they've got to make some scratch to pay the bills. I get that. But like this stuffed suit right here that you're looking at, These people come at you with all the sincerity of a rattlesnake. It's just that you have to be a little bit wise to see it.
But something changed along the way.
Our egos somehow got the better of us.
I'm going to have to correct you there, Pop. There was no ego involved in red pill men and this red pill PUA fucking dating bullshit coming to an end. It was always going to come to an end, especially with the empowerment of the accusation. Especially when you drive females into a fucking frenzy and you tell them all they have to do is point and motherfuckers will shoot down whoever is disagreeing with them. It's worse now than it's ever been. No, there's no ego problem here. The only ego problem is the people that are on this fucking commercial. And that's all this is. This is a barely infomercial. It's fucked up. It's pathetic. It's so sad, but it's not surprising. You will see these snakes in the fucking grass break up at some point in time. They'll reorganize, they'll rebrand, and they'll come at you again. Hopefully by that time, man, you've got your shit in gear and you can spot these people with your brand new acquired red pill senses.
Become envious of one another.
We started throwing around wild accusations. We started calling each other grifters, doing hit pieces on one another.
And eventually, the message was lost.
Man, that sure is a pretty cityscape. No, Mr. Sharp, the message wasn't lost. The message was purified. It was clarified. It was made easy to understand. You see those motherfuckers over there? Yeah, they're ripping you off. You see these motherfuckers over here? Yeah, they're giving you all of that information, the uncut fucking dope, for free. Because they actually do give a fuck about you. I'm not trying to empty out somebody's pockets. I'm not trying to get myself paid at the expense of other men. I'm fucking just dumbfounded that this shit still works on people. And I'm even more let down that some of my bros are in this fucking piece.
Gentlemen, we are no longer a unified community.
Every other week there's a petty disagreement.
This creator falling out with that creator.
And he copied me. Oh, he disrespected me. I said that first. He started charges for his products?
He's a fraud.
He should do a response video. Where?
This ends right here.
Typical Pop. Typical Pop. Man, I love you, Terrence. I really do. And Blake, you guys are good peeps. And Mr. Adams, even though your goddamn moderators don't know how to control themselves. You gentlemen should think seriously about jumping off this fucking boat because it's already taken on water.
And right now.
Nice trees. God damn. What the fuck is this? Come on, man. Trying to get up, do some expendable shit. More like the Dependables. Put your diapers on, nurgles. Come on, you fucks. You gotta be shitting me. Really? Oh man, I cringed so hard I didn't have a fat stomach. Oh, God.
Welcome to the Conference of Masculine Excellence.
Oh, I can't breathe. Oh, fuck, I'm dying. Oh my God, this is fucking stupid. Stupid! You have to be out of your fucking mind to align yourself with these goddamn people. What is wrong with y'all? Come on now. You can't be fucking serious that this is what you're doing. This is how you're gonna help guys? This is how you're gonna help them. Now, how do we get these motherfuckers to buy into this bullshit? Hold on, it's not bullshit. You can't refer to it as bullshit. Come on now, it's red pill therapy. Let's call it red pill therapy. Okay, motherfuckers, it's red pill therapy.
This event will serve as a new beginning for our community. We are going to show men the true meaning of masculinity.
We'll discuss the importance of family.
Okay. How? How are you going to show men the true meaning of masculinity when you don't know what it is? How? How are you going to do that? How are you going to show men what it's like to be a man when they're all raised at the clip of 80% by single mothers? Suckers.
And fatherhood. We'll talk about fitness and why it's the cornerstone of every man's foundation.
We will discuss how to deal with things like PT.
Let me stop you there. I'm sorry to stop this so much, gentlemen. It's just that the idiocy is flying at me. I mean, like left and right. You're going to show the cornerstone of every man's life is fitness? No, it's not. The cornerstone of every human being's life is morals, ethics, principles, and values. That is the foundation for which your entire life is laid upon. And if you don't have those and you can't exhibit those, your fitness doesn't mean shit. It'll just turn you into a fucking Chad, a Bobo, a Ray Ray, an Abdul, a Habib. You understand what I'm saying, don't you?
PTSD and depression.
We'll teach you the importance of financial shrewdness. We'll talk about
how financially shrewd is it to sit there and just scalp off, peel them fucking hundreds off, huh? Does that look financially responsible? I think your editor should be fired.
Avoid the wrong type of women.
How to select the right woman.
How to strengthen your mind.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, gents. I'm sorry to be stopping this. How to select the right woman. Hold on, man. Did something change in the last few months? Did the laws get stricken? Is no-fault divorce no longer no-fault divorce? Are men not being run through the child support fucking meat grinder at a clip of $1 million a year? Did this change? Did I miss it all? Did I wake up in 2022? 2085? No, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. All this is bullshit. It's banter. It's fucking stupid. It's ridiculousness. It's absurdity. But then again, you have to have some fucking brains to see that. So I can understand why your comment section got about 139 comments. Oh man, this is so lit. Oh, it's on fire.
And much, much more.
Yeah, we will talk about sex and relationships.
No.
That's a given.
But we're focusing on becoming a complete man.
A man that is strong physically,
mentally,
and
a complete man. What's with this guy's head? A complete man, huh? So a complete man in your ideal is somebody that absolutely has to deal with females. The monetization of the female. That's a complete man. Complete man is somebody that has to go out there and put themselves at risk and harm themselves. A complete man just has to accept that. What's he got to do? He's got to man up, right? Fuck that. He's got to man out. And that's why this CME bullshit is going down right now. Don't misunderstand this, gentlemen. This is MGTOW and monkdom and real red pillars having a massive effect on the bottom line of these fucking soap sellers, these snake oil salesmen. Don't ever get that twisted.
And spiritually.
Yes, most of us found this community because of women.
And hey, man, it was a few women for me.
What are y'all talking about, man? I'm undefeated.
Shit, I'm not. I've taken a lot more L's than W's.
All right, let me stop the cap. I've taken plenty of L's.
But many of us understand that it's not all about women.
In fact, it's quite the opposite.
This doesn't mean we don't want women.
Because trust me, we most certainly do.
And that about says it all right there. You're goddamn right that they most certainly do, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be monetizing the red pill. If women weren't first and foremost in their minds, in their lives, they wouldn't be here right now. Tell me that I'm wrong. Matter of fact, it don't really matter if you tell me that I'm wrong, because I know that I'm not. And you do too. In your heart of hearts, you understand what this means, gentlemen. You understand it. These people, if I could draw a picture, remind me of somebody with their noses and eyes above water in an ocean that they can't touch the ground on, drowning. And they're trying to find ways to justify breathing water. instead of standing up and breathing air and setting themselves free. A lot like those MRAs. What did all of the MRAs do? They let the fucking broads in and they exploded the MRAs. It destroyed them. They're done. They're over. So the people that were disgusted with the MRAs came over to Red Pill, came over to MGTOW, they came over to Monkdom. And a lot of them made it work. And then you can see the refuse in commercials like this. No disrespect, Pop and Blake. I'm not calling you refuse. Or you, Mr. Adams. But you got to get them mods of yours under control, sir.
We're going to show you why it's important to follow the advice of the Godfather himself. Roll to
what the fuck?
And that is to make your...
Oh, it's happening again. I'm dying. Shit. Rolla Tomasi, the Godfather. The fucking Godfather. Of what? What's he the Godfather of? A few fucking books? This motherfucker looks like the Crypt Keeper. And you rolled up to Molly. And you talking about the Godfather? Who comes up with this shit? The Godfather of cucketry. Fuck a bitch. Fuck them all.
Self, your own mental point of origin.
None of us are perfect. Far from it.
Yes, we have all made mistakes in life.
We have all made bad decisions. We've all had our hearts broken. We've all...
You see these guys sitting here right now confessing their souls? You see, confessing their sins, bleeding all over you. Oh, man, we're trying so hard to be relatable. We've all made them fucking mistakes, man. Come on over here. Just sign up. $2,000, please. These people are about as relatable to me as pond scum. They're not relatable. Plain and simple. These motherfuckers are going all in on trying to get you to cash everything out. Your fucking soul, your freedom, everything. Your life. And for these new jacks that are coming into the community, that are coming into Red Pill, coming into MGTOW, when these guys get a hold of them first, they will go right back to the goddamn plantation. It's just what they're going to do.
Been broke.
We've all been through some shit.
But our goal is to teach you how to avoid these pitfalls so that you can become the very best version of yourself.
The motherfucker looked like Grape Ape in a stuffed suit. You're going to be the best version. We're going to teach you how to avoid these pitfalls. How? How? Are you going to teach them about dark female nature? Are you going to teach them about Title 4D? Are you going to teach them about the law? This is why we have a ghost nation. The MGTOW Ghost Nation, gentlemen. That's why it exists. Oh my God.
Yes, we will have disagreements from time to time.
But in the end, we are all on the same team.
We're in this together as men. And this is how it starts.
The inaugural Conference of Masculine Excellence will usher in a new era in this men's community. And from here on out, we're going to do things differently.
No, we're not. No, we're not. You're going to do things the same fucking way that you have been doing them. When you were teamed up with old Anthony Dream, me, Johnson, and the 21 studios, the 22 convention, the blurty blah, blah, blah. Do you know why your shit failed? Is because, now, I know that this will come as a shock to you. Your shit failed because there is a sector of the manosphere out here that refuses to put up with you, that will not give you a pass, that will not let you slide, that will not let you monetize them or their bros. That's why your shit failed. Not to mention your internal strife. Sounds a lot like the mainstream media that refuses to tell you why diamond stores are closing, why fucking Johnson & Johnson's and Procter & Gamble can't sell Pampers and Loves, why all the fucking bridal gown places are closing up, why nobody's having babies. Always because women are just waiting. They're making different choices in life. No! They're not being asked to marry. They're not being asked to date. They're not being asked anything. They got left on the curb like a hefty bag.
Infighting.
No more friendly fire. No more hit pieces.
No more response videos.
And no more.
Let me tell you something right now. If you come out, any of you, whether I regard you as a friend or not, any of you come out and you start endorsing usury, I'm going to roast you until you beg me to stop. It's that fucking simple. And there's a red pill warband out here that knows exactly what the fuck that means. Shout out Undead Chronic. You know what I'm saying. No. You make no decisions for me. I agree to nothing that I don't want to do.
Public feuds.
If we have a disagreement, we handle it behind the scenes, man to man.
The way it's supposed to be done. And it's as simple as that.
Now more than ever, men need each other.
In the end, we are much stronger united than...
Hey, I'm not going to disagree with you on that one. Men do need each other. And men do need to be a united front. Now here's the problem. How many of y'all are going to give up your goddamn funds and your monetization to make that happen? Oh, I'll wait. Of course, I'll be waiting for a long time because there's not any of you that are going to drop your monetization. There's not any of you that are going to go out there and talk about Title 4D and how to defeat it like I did. Nobody is going to do that. And you want to let women into your little conference here so that you can show everybody out there, see, man, all you had to do was be nice to the motherfuckers and they'll come up and unicorn your ass.
Divided.
So join us on June 4th in Las Vegas to revive a once thriving men's community that focuses on its original purpose, helping men to become the very best versions of themselves. Thank you.
No, Mr. Sharp. Thank you. This was comedy gold. I loved every second of it because all it does is validate my position. Unironically and unintentionally, of course. It validates the position of all of the MGTOW OGs. How many millionaires do you men know? I don't have enough fingers and toes to count the amount of MGTOW millionaires that I'm familiar with. Now, I won't tell you who they are. They identify themselves from time to time. You should know who 5 of them are because they've said it before in the past. I don't know that y'all are millionaires, and even if you were, I don't know that you could feel really good about how you fleece people to get there. But then again, if you're willing to fleece a motherfucker to get there, get that $2,000 worth of fucking simp bucks, oh man, I don't imagine you have too much feelings about it anyways. This has been Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk.
I'm the big hand man, palms like a stop sign, jab slap the crap out of crease, cause I want mine and yours. You heard it right and direct. I put my big dick fingers around your neck, squeeze till you choke, going till your neck broke like country folk. You wouldn't provoke my...
Some of you theologians out there, religious scholars, religiously inclined, will probably understand what I'm saying here. Some of you may not. Some of you may not have any religious inclination, and you'll think to yourselves, you know, I can kind of relate to that. You become familiar with certain concepts, with certain things, right? Heaven, hell, up there, down there, all that really heavy declamatory shit. What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? Well, Hammer, up here, Jesus says, all you have to do is claim me as your savior, and you will be open to the kingdom of heaven. Oh man, you'll get it all. You get it all, nigga. You get the Transformers, you get the G.I. Joes, you get that buxom blonde that you always wanted. You get total satisfaction. You get clarity of thought. You get it all, whatever you want. Just Give your soul to me. Downstairs. Downstairs. That devil, Mephisto, Beelzebub, says to you, I got a contract for you. I'll give you anything that you want. Anything. It's within my power. I can do that. I used to be an angel, you know. All you got to do is sign on the dotted line. I'll give you any fucking thing that you want, filthy human. I'll grant all your wishes. I'll make it all come true. I need something from you. I need your soul. So, they want your soul. They want your soul. They're both promising you everything. Sounds a lot like the PUA community today, doesn't it? The old divide and conquer. Yeah, I was thinking that too.
You're watching Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk.
If you just come on over here and you show deference to females, we're gonna make sure that you get everything that you ever wanted, boy. Everything. We're gonna give you the pleasure of going out and working for 20, 30, 40 years, raising them kids up, supporting that family. Be a man. It's what men do. It's funny. It's funny to sit around and watch possibly the fourth that I'm aware of reformation of the PUA snake oil salesman community. Fourth. You would figure if your business model was successful that there would only be one. You'd think. You can have various reasons for this not being the case. Most of it is going to be because your business model is faulty. Because you have made a business out of helping men. You see, the best dope dealers in the world know how to cut that dope. You know what I'm saying? Give you just enough, but not give you the full shit. The full shit might kill you. It might just take their customer base and turn them out. That's what the full shit might do. That's the uncut dope. That's the uncut truth of the red pill. When you cut the truth, when you cut the red pill and you blend it with blue pill ideology, which is basically mainstream ideology, your disposability, the futility of that utility. When you do those things, you get initial success, lots of initial success, because what you are saying sounds correct. But at the end of the day, what are you actually doing? You are lining them pockets. You are relieving vulnerable and susceptible men who are mentally shattered and broken, lost and confused, coming out of their blue pill malaise, trying to find some guidance, and you're fucking them. You're harming them. You. Donovan Sharp, Dream Johnson, the MGTOW dictionaries of the world. You're the ones harming them. What a fucking world we live in, where something so simple as getting together and mating can cost you everything. And it will. It will cost you everything. Who else can I throw in there now? It grieves me. It breaks my heart to see what's going on around here. Some folks have referred to this as men tearing each other down, petty beefs and conflicts. Oh, we've got to settle this behind closed doors. Do you know why it gets settled in public? Because behind closed doors, fuckery happens. That's why it gets settled publicly, so that the public can decide. You see? So that there's a fair and equitable opportunity for people to get their opinions in there, to get their choices out, to do what they need to do. I settle nothing behind closed doors unless it's called for, unless it's already peaceable. If it's a little bump, if it's a disagreement or something, you say, wait a minute, what do you really think about that? And then we'll talk a little bit, and then we'll hash it out. But this is not the same thing. Convention for, what was it? Men's Excellence, CME. Can't monetize estrogen is more appropriate to me. CME. Things like this, and it wasn't that long ago. These were the same group of people that were talking about make women great again and charging $2,000 for motherfuckers to get a ticket to that one too. It absolutely shreds every atom in my brain to know that there are people out there that are fucking gullible enough to fall for this. And it hurts my heart to see people that have had trust in the MGTOW community jump on that bandwagon. Gents, I said a long time ago, well, it wasn't that long ago. It's only a year, 2 years, year and a half, that I was going to go out of my way to expose people that are butt-fucking vulnerable men. And guess what? The exposure is here. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to do nothing. I mean, I have my opinions on things, of course. So that side, the PUA sector of the manosphere, is in complete fucking disarray. And that's another little thing I want to bring up. This CME. Don't be surprised if you see people like Richard Cooper or somebody else come out down the road talking about rebranding the manosphere. We're just going to distance ourselves from the man. Oh, it's become too toxic. Oh, I cannot tell a lie. Ah! It's nauseatingly funny. Nauseatingly funny. Humorous to continue to see these people slip their skins constantly. And slightly disturbing to see men that I'm familiar with jump up in it. I said a month or two ago, I was becoming increasingly concerned by these so-called MGTOW channels. Now, y'all need to really think about your branding. You really do. Okay? Because you're not following the philosophy. You're branding yourselves now. You are not MGTOW channels if you have female guest after female guest, female speaker after female speaker, and they're trying to put their fucking 2 cents in. And I have watched many of these. And I have watched these females direct and guide the conversation, the narrative. And I watched the men, these powerhouse fucking men, just kind of like, that fucking chin falls, them shoulders tuck up, and they're like, yes, dear. Come here. This is a secret, so don't tell nobody. If you're doing this, you're not actually a MGTOW. And if you notice the scruff, that's right. I'm gonna shave this down here in a couple of weeks. Let all this come back. I'm gonna start this motherfucking beard early this year. My good friends, and you know who you are. Some of you might say, well, how do I know that we're good friends? Because we share the same mind. We share the same ideals, the philosophy of MGTOW. The philosophy of MGTOW is not to monetize other human beings, not to take advantage of them. And of course, one of these fuckwads will come out and say, what, you're doing it. Chronic has a PayPal. Chronic is shilling, and he's ruthlessly honest about the shilling. And he's not a MGTOW. And he knows that, and we know that, and that's why we get along. Plain and simple. And he sells fucking shirts or art. I sell shirts or art. That's what I do. So if somebody makes the choice to jump over there to that store and buy a shirt or buy some art, thank you. Thank you very much. It helps supplement the income. It adds to my ability to help out down the road. How many times have you been on them streams where I've dropped 50, 100, 200, 500? How many times have you seen that? You've probably seen that. Plain and simple, gents, plain and simple. I ask, but I give. It's that simple. Oh, it's a big old fucking dog here. Big old noisy fucking dog. And then that motherfucker on the leash ain't too bad, though. I shouldn't say that. That woman's actually kind of nice. Keeps to herself. Does her thing and comes out and walks that fucking beast of a dog. So I just wanted to tell you, gents, there's always a power play for your soul. There's always a power play going on for your emotions. There's always somebody trying to stick something in your face to make you feel something so that you will act a certain way and do a certain thing. There's always something out there to get you to undermine your own self-interest. And I don't mean self-gratification when I say self-interest. Don't get the two confused. What do they say in war? It's a battle for hearts and minds. It's not a battle to kill the enemy. It's a battle to win the population. Right? That's what this is. That's what it is now. It's what it is then. It's what it is in the future. That's the way it's always going to be. The ultimate weapon against this type of manipulation, and this is outright manipulation, is you. You have to be strong enough mentally, to see this shit coming. When you see this, pay me, 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 pay me. When you see that, turn the fuck around and find something else to listen to. Turn around and find something else to listen to. The content creators over here on the MGTOW Red Pill side of things that have opted in for this shit, it's disappointing, but it's not unexpected. They say that everybody has their price. I agree with that. My price is too high for anyone to pay. It doesn't come in the form of currency. It comes in the form of male sovereignty. That's my price. That's my price. Men taking their rightful positions at the head of the table. Men fucking do everything. They do it faster, longer, harder, and better. They should be the ones distributing. Motherfuckers should be falling at their feet, begging for forgiveness for the way that they've treated them over the last 50, 70, 80 years. Of course, we know that that's not going to happen. That's why you cut them out of your life. It's your life. It belongs to you. It's the only unique thing about you is it's your life. You walk your path. If you want to amble around, I can't blame you for that. If you want to run with a purpose, I can't blame you for that. But don't just give it away. Don't fall for the snake oil bullshit that comes with this conference for male excellence. Oh, preached to you by a bunch of fucking scrubs that continue to fail at fleecing men, so they rebrand and rebrand and rebrand and rebrand. And we've been here before. We've been here before. I've seen this shit go on in the racing world for 45 fucking years. 45 years. Power play after power play after power play. Struggle after struggle after struggle. Nothing ever changes. The fucking sport gets beat down. Ownership changes hands. Audiences and money go somewhere else. Nothing ever changes. It's the same thing over here. It won't ever change on that level because you have a job to do. What's the job? You have to identify your sovereignty. You have to identify your self-actualization. That's what you have to do. You have to make abso-fucking-lutely sure that there's nobody that's interfering with that on any level. That's what you have to do. I don't normally come out and tell you that you have to do anything, but if you decide that you're not going to do that, that you're not going to take the fucking bumps, that you're not going to endure the pain of self-examination, enjoy doing what you're doing. That hamster wheel is big. You could put a lot on the hamster wheel. Don't fall for the grift, gents. People can look you right in the face like they did last night on that little ad that I played for you. This is not a grift. Okay. What I would say to the MGTOW and the red pill men out there that I have respect for, that have decided to participate in this bullshit, you should get as far away from this as you possibly can. This was very poorly conceived. The only motivation for being in this at all is monetary. Now, I know somebody like Pop is going to say, well, it's to spread the word. It's an opportunity to see a different stage. Hey, I can't fault that. I can't fault that. But you don't fall in bed with the motherfuckers that have relentlessly been trying to tell you that you're a piece of dog shit for the last 4, 5, 6 years, that have stymied you and hammered on you every single step of the fucking way, and now you're like this on the same stage. Might as well be a goddamn proctology fucking exam. You guys have to think better than that. You're too goddamn old and too fucking experienced to be this dumb.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
You know, folks I'm listening to, I'm hearing, and a lot of them are saying, man, this is a divide and conquer tactic. It's a divide and conquer strategy. It's always them, they, pitting you against me, me against you, them against us against whomever. I have to disagree with that. There is some of that going on, of course, and there's a lot of the uninformed and the ignorant that buy into that. And no disrespect when I say ignorant. Ignorant is an absence of knowledge, right? Stupid is a little bit different. You have the knowledge, you just choose to ignore it. That's stupid. I just got done listening to the brother RPM. Good video about the the Donovan Sharp deal Of course, it's not Donovan Sharp. That's an alias, right? Like most of us use aliases. But in his case, I see why he uses an alias. There's a lot of folks out there that want to not understand that we still live in a very tribalistic world, you know? And then they get really uncomfortable and nervous and fidgety when you start talking about white problems or black problems or female problems or man problems, Asian problems, Filipino problems. They get all, ooh, no. That's a bridge too far, motherfucker. We can't talk about the races. No, because any talk about race and race reality has been turned into a persona non grata topic. It means if you've got the courage, the balls, the nuts, whatever it is, and I'm not big up in myself much, but I'm about the only one that does that. There are some folks out there that bring it up from time to time. Dolomite, the great Dolomite. He brings it up all the time. I'm not going to tell you his name. Go find him. You can find him under the great Dolomite talking about race reality. And he is pretty spectacular. And he's public enemy number one when it comes to all of the race grifters and the people out here that seek to destroy your tribalism. You don't understand out there, gentlemen, ladies, if any of you hoes are listening, you don't understand the benefit of tribalism. I do. I understand it dramatically. And I understand that the less you feel it, the more apt you are to being destroyed. Plain and simple. The less you feel some type of tribalistic behavior, the more you're going to disappear. Your culture, your heritage, everything that you are, everything that you're descended from, gone. Just like that. It's funny. It's funny to me. No, I'm about one of the only folks out here in this part of the manosphere, the YouTubosphere, that speaks about it in a realistic, dare I say, compassionate manner. You know, look at all these cars out here right now that are driving behind me, driving over here to my side. And it's a guarantee that every one of these cars, the vehicle, it has an occupant, a driver, a pilot. And I think it's fair to say that most of these vehicles out here, 50% of them, let's just say 50% of them have somebody else on board. Well, you can take those cars and turn them into ideologies, ideas. Ideologies and ideas have pilots, they have drivers, and then they have people riding along as well. I enjoyed that video by our brother RPM. And of course, you know, it talked about the conference for masculine excellence put on by effeminate, greedy, shitty men. How do you know that, Hammer? I've been watching Donovan for years now. I've got so many red pills. So much good information. Yes. You see, that's the idea. Lots of good information. And until you get that red pill fucking radar going, until you understand what subversion is, real subversion, you're going to listen to that shit. And it's going to do an end around on you. And you're going to be staring at a dating app down the road thinking that you're 100% right because Mr. Sharp told you so. You going, oh, you get your beef on, you do your reps, you get in the fucking gym, go get yourself a toupee. Go get some bicep implants. Go get somebody to suck the fat off your tummy. Go do all of that shit. Make yourself better for her. If you take the female out of the equation of the unironically named Conference for Masculine Excellence, there is no conference. Simple, right? Because if these motherfuckers were up there talking about masculine excellence with no female influence, where they weren't hanging the fucking carrot in front of the starving horse, there would be no conference. No one would show up. And then that brings us around to another vehicle that's being piloted. The one that was started decades and decades and decades ago. The disempowerment of the male man. Not just men that have businesses, corporations, boards of men that run it the way that they see fit, the way that they want to run it, which not all of it I agree with, obviously. The complete disenfranchisement of men. That's some gnarly shit. It's gnarly to think about. For me, it is. Gents, it isn't hard to see what this is. You go to the website, the Conference for Masculine Excellence. There is nothing on there that talks about masculinity. Nothing. Nothing. It tells you who the speakers are. It tells you the rostrum, how many attendees are projected. Right now, it's about $300,000 worth. I know that some people, they've said it to me in their comments, in the private messaging, they've said it to me. Why are you hating? Why do you dislike this so much? You're just mad because yada, yada, yada. I'm not mad. I'm flummoxed. I'm flabbergasted. I'm beside myself. But I'm not really surprised. This is just the way that it goes for men today. Did you hear about the two teenage girls? Via, the master, Red Pill War Commander, Undead Chronic, the two girls that killed that Pakistani Uber driver. They murdered him. No jail time. If that had been a 13 and a 15-year-old boy, they'd be in the fucking electric chair bouncing up and down right now. Oh yeah. Unless, of course, their parents were liberals. It's fascinating times out here. Fascinating times. No, I don't hate these men at all. I actually admire the grift. Sometimes it's a son of a bitch to have morals, ethics, values, and principles, isn't it? Keeps you out of the money. That's for fucking sure. Now, I do have to say, not always. Not always. But for the most part, unless you're meeting somebody that's like-minded, yeah, you can forget about making money. No, I don't hate these men. I very much enjoy seeing what I see, living in this age. It's fascinating time to be alive. Absolutely fascinating. I'm very curious as to where this is going to go. I have my suspicions, but I wouldn't wish those on anyone. Gentlemen, I think I've run my flapper long enough. You know that there is this saying out here, and of course, as soon as I say that, I'm going to start talking about something else. There is this saying out here that a fool and their money will soon be parted. I actually don't consider these people that are buying into this conference, if those numbers are real, when you're dealing with a master manipulator and a charlatan like Donovan Sharp, you come to understand very quickly that they're very good at finagling things and blowing themselves up and gassing up the people around them to try to get them to do things, to maneuver them, to manipulate them. They do it constantly. They demonstrate this every single day. Every video that they're on, that they make, they demonstrate that. It's just up to you to be smart enough to see it. No, I don't hate these men. I don't dislike these men for jumping in there and giving themselves a chance at their dream, at what they feel is going to be amazing for their life, a female companion, a partner in life, right? Because that's what you're taught. It's what you're taught. It's what's washed into your head every single fucking day from birth to death until you opt out. And that brainwashing stops cold, and it's not fun. It's not easy to jump past that. I don't call these men that are signing up for these courses fools. I mean, I think that it's fucking dumb. I think that it's foolish. I think that it's very, very short-sighted. But I understand what's going on there. They're not fools. They're desperate. They're desperate. A lot of them are broken. A lot of them are at their wits' end. A lot of them now are going to sign up and try to mimic this business model to fleece more men. You see, this isn't just an opportunity to bring people to the auditorium, right? To have everybody come to Black Jesus so Black Jesus can preach it to them. That's not what this is about. It's also about training future manipulators. Some of them are going to know what the fucking game is. Some of them are going in there to learn how to do the game. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. Hope you men are having yourselves a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, beautiful day out there. I am. Pretty cool. Sitting here on a lunch break. Just devoured my little dinky sandwich. Got some healthy drink next to me. Oh yeah. Remember, every day above dirt is a good day. Unless you're a PUA. Then a couple of days below dirt might do you some good.
Thinking of a master plan. This ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands. So I dig into my pocket, all my money spent. So I get deeper, but still coming up with lint. So I start my mission, leave my residence. Thinking how could I get some dead presents.
Gentlemen, let's talk about permissions. You don't need anyone's permission to write the rules to your own life. You don't. Now I know what you're thinking. There's an entire system, a structure out here that puts us all in a place. Are you sure about that?
You're watching Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen. Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk. Back at you. One more again. Yo, man. Yo. It's another struggle video. I saw somebody say that the other day. Like, this motherfucker's always making them car videos. It's a struggle video. I'm actually comfortable in my car. So let's struggle together. You don't need permission to rewrite the rules. I know what you're going to say, but. A lot of people are saying that right now, and they're like, well, that's not true. That's just that's bullshit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, I practice what I preach. I do exactly what I need to do to make sure that my life is what I want it to be. And not all of those things fit neatly and comfortably into this absurd system. They just don't. But I will tell you one thing. I do enjoy looking around, trying to find things to rewrite. Well, that's for all of the people out there that don't like the finger pointing. Get bent. Cheers. It's tea. Good tea. Oh, I got a lot of people out there concerned about my health. Thank you. Folks, look around you. Look at all of the stuff that's out here. Look at all the things that are out here that are designed to get your attention. And by getting your attention, making short work of your paycheck, your wallet, whatever it is that you do to get your financial independence, that financial fluidity, whether it's working a job, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you were born with a silver spoon. I ain't hating on you, but everybody else is, and they want your money. They want your time. They want your effort. The rules that are out here exist because somebody benefits from them. Write your own rules. Make the rules for your life. Now, if I could give a small piece of advice, don't fall into the same traps that all of these other people are falling into when they start writing the rules to their life. And you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm going to clear it up for you. It's these females out here. It's the people that enable the females out here with their wild, ridiculous, absurd, completely unfounded expectations of a man, of life, of job situations, of everything. Everything. Every fucking thing. They have written themselves into, painted themselves into, positioned themselves into the only corner in the room. That's what they've done. They'll tell you, there ain't no good men. All the good men are taken. No, they're not. All the good men are out here still. They're out here doing the same things that they've always been doing. They're just not doing it with you because they chose to rewrite the rules of their life. Why did they do that? Why would men, almost as a collective, pick up and jettison the shit that goes with women and the female expectation? Why would they do that? Are you ready? Because it no longer benefits them in any way. And then you have the delusional that will come forward and with a straight face say, well, I mean, I brought this to the table. This is the reward. And they believe it. When men look at other men out here in the manosphere and they say to them, you're the prize, they're not kidding. And that's not the same level of delusion, although there is some delusion in that. It's not the same level of delusion that the female has. You see, the female didn't write their own rules. They adopted the script. That's what they did. The rules were written for them, and they were like, God damn, that sounds like a good deal. Just eject motherfuckers from the house, and you're going to cut me a check? Cool. A couple decades later, God damn, I can't be penalized for divorce, so I can divorce for any fucking reason under the sun and have no accountability? God damn, that's a good one. We're going to do that too. Let's eat some more. All the while, the fuckery of Title 4D and the child extortion support court system that's not real, by the way, folks. Now, I know somebody out there, somebody's going to say, well, I'm paying child support. It's coming out of my check. It's pretty fucking real. It's because you chose it. And you're going to get mad as fuck at me that I just said that. But if you sit down, do a little bit of studying, a little bit of looking, you will come to find out that you marched into a courtroom, some bitch handed you a stack of papers to waive your rights, and you signed them. You chose it. It's something that I didn't want to believe years and years and years ago. I thought that it was all part of the plan. That's the way that it was just done. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're a bad man if you don't go out there and just sign your whole goddamn life away. That's not the way it is. So I started writing my own rules, and I started discovering things and figuring things out. Now I don't pay child support anymore because there's no such thing. Now I've got my son. Right back there. You see? Now I have next to nothing to do with the blood-sucking whores. I only run into them out here in the daylight. Because like a vampire, well, I tuck myself away at night. They come out. Always looking for something to suck dry. Always. It doesn't matter if they're normal women. What the fuck is that? Lesbian women? Tranny women? Doesn't make any difference what they are. Whatever they call themselves. They're always looking for something to suck dry. They adopted the script. If you write rules for your life, you're going to throw a big fucking monkey wrench into their script, into their plan. And that reverberates all the way through the state, the local, the federal levels of these laws. Well, not actually laws. Statutes. Statutes. They're like rules. Guidelines. They're not enforceable. Not many of you know that, which is shocking because there are lots of very decent people out here that are preaching on it every fucking day. Every day of the week. You know what I'm saying? It's more than one way to skin a cat. Not that I'd want to, because I love cats. Write your own rules, gentlemen. You want to go out? Go out. You want to do something nice? Go do something nice. You want to spend a little money on yourself? Spend a little money on yourself. You want to save your money? That's a better idea. Save your money. You want to look into things that you can invest in? That's a good idea. You want some solid assets, not fiat currency? That's a good idea too. Gold, silver, platinum. Although you can't get platinum, silver's almost non-existent right now at this point in time, and gold is bearing all the brunt of those bond yields. So yeah, a lot of people are listening. A lot of people that are in the financial know are listening. And there's a lot of people out there that like to panic and victimize and throw trash and smoke at other people and act like they know what they're talking about. And they don't really. And that's too bad. Instead of becoming informed, a little more educated on the way that things work and trying to take advantage of some of that, what do? They fall right into the same system that's robbing them on both ends of their life. And that's some bullshit. Shouldn't do that. Just my opinion. You know me, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I will tell you what I do. You know, and from time to time I do that. When you write your own rules, you get to play life on your terms. maybe not 100%, but I have said many, many times, I'll take that life that gets me 80% of what I want, what I need. I'll take that life. You see? I'll take that life. I can't tell you how many people I have seen throw away the 80% of everything that they've ever asked for because that other 20% wasn't there. They had to put some fucking elbow grease in to get it. And that's where you're at now with the youth of the world. Not just the youth here or in Canada or in Mexico. It's the youth of the world. People are standing around waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I'm sitting here wondering why they haven't seen it. It's already happened. It's already happened. These people will play by the rules. Rules is a colloquial term for cage, by the way. Because their rules cage you. Their rules enrich them, put them in the highest places in all of creation. Ever. 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 And it keeps you just barely above water. You get a nice boot in the face every once in a while. You get stomped out a couple of times a year, but you're grateful to be and go to somebody else and work for fucking 45 or 55 hours a week. That is their rule. That's their rule. I know somebody's gonna say, but wait now, you got a job, so aren't you playing by their rules? Yeah. And that's the price that you pay for not doing things for yourself. If I had only had the ability to think this way, or had been raised with the ability to think this way, I can't imagine where life would have taken me or where I would have gone to take advantage of life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for the time being, I still do have to have a job. Like most of you watching right now, I have no doubt in my mind. But like I mentioned in the last video and a few videos before that, I know hundreds of millionaires. Me personally. Now, I don't rub elbows with them. I don't go out to dinners with them. But they're all probably people that you know or have heard of. And guess what they do? Everything that I just said. They write their own rules. Even millionaires have to work to keep their money. Billionaires have to work to keep their billions. You see? Is it unfair? I guess it depends on your perspective. Does somebody else's money and property and possession make you unhappy? If it does, then you've got some questions to ask yourself. And some concerning questions at that. I've been in the company of billionaires, millionaires, and one trillionaire in my life. And I can tell you that opulence makes me uncomfortable. And sometimes you don't know if you're shaking the hand of the devil or somebody that has actually put in the work. Sometimes. It's funny. I never had the desire out there, ever, to chase or hoard money or resources. I knew that that would be a full-time job. I knew that it would take precedence over everything else in my life that I wanted. A family, kids, the white picket fence, the illusion, the dream. Collecting, modeling, all the things that I do, fishing, going to races. Some of those things I don't do anymore. But I knew that I had to make a choice. I knew that from a very, very early age. And I chose to be happy. That's what I chose. To be happy comes with certain sacrifices. To choose to go out and pursue money, entrepreneurship, philanthropy, that comes with sacrifices. To choose to wait until you're 35 to birth children comes with sacrifices. There's nothing in life that doesn't come without a price tag, even when you're being told that it's free and for your benefit. Everything has a price. Everything. The check always comes due. Always. So go write the rules to your life and play life the way that you want it. And then when the check comes, you'll be able to cash it. Gentlemen, I am reasonably sure that most of the people in the world who have been red-pilled, who are aware of the red pill, who have gone MGTOW, or even further, monk, at some point in time, they wanted two things. They wanted love and they wanted respect. And they ended up with neither. As a matter of fact, they ended up losing love and losing respect, losing self-respect, losing their money, losing their kids. Let's talk about what emotional damage happens to a person when they lead their life with emotion.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the...
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen. Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk, back at you. One mo again. Yo, man. Yo. You know, there was a time in my life where I needed, abso-fucking-lutely needed to be loved and to be respected. To have somebody come unto me and give me what I felt I needed. These are not good statements to make. And it reveals, I think, a deeper, larger truth to the overall body of men in the West right now. And I'm not saying that it's just the West, but it's very prevalent in the West. And I think that it will be for some time until men find their footing here again. I always use myself as an example of the things that I talk about because, bros, I have led one hell of a life. It's been an interesting one, that's for sure. Coming up, I didn't have that father figure. I didn't have somebody that wanted to go play ball or play frisbee or take us out to the movies. My mother couldn't choose a decent man to save her life. And that had a detrimental effect on me, on my brother, on our family as a whole. And nothing was ever the same since then. My brother and I spent the majority of the last 25, 30 years trying to dig out from under all of the emotional turmoil and weight that was placed on us. You know, as my mother gets older, she talks more about these things. She used to say, now, just a few years ago, well, you just got to pick yourself up and you've got to move on. And then I kind of enlightened her. I said, how far down the road have you moved since being beaten like a fucking dog by our father, your first husband? How far down the road did you get? Did you just pick up and move on? No, she didn't. She was the unfortunate product of two people that should have stopped having kids well before she came along. You know, you got a certain amount of religion mixed into it. You got a certain amount of personal judgments, societal and civic and family emotions mixed into the way that people live their lives. And when you're the product of a family that generated 9 kids, 10 kids, you know, her mother started having kids in the 1920s and stopped having kids in the middle 1940s. You know what I'm saying? She was born the year after the war ended, the Second World War. By the time she came along, those parents, my grandfather and her grandmother, or my grandfather and grandmother were well into their 50s. Well into their 50s. That ain't no way to raise a family. You have to think about the future. You have to think about what it's going to be like when you have an 18-year-old and you're 70. You know? That's fucking insane. Especially in this day and age, in this world out here that we live in. So, not making excuses for her. But when she came along, by the time she got there, yeah, she was a bundle of joy to them, but they had nothing left to give her. They were too old. They were not moving right. Their health was in failure. She practically raised herself. She was often married at fucking 16 years old to a guy that she had no business being married to. He was not vetted properly. That turned out to be my father. And then from that, 14 years of nastiness, of filth, of bad fucking habits, cheating, sobriety problems for both of them. She jumps right into a midterm relationship. She wasn't away from my father for 3 months, and she was fucking shacked up with somebody else. Then when that went south, we had a brother that came of that we never knew. And then less than a year later, she's marrying somebody that turns out to be a very not good person. And I've spoken about this in the past, and I speak about it openly and honestly because there are millions of men out here that go through the same shit. Now, I know somebody's going to say, they're going to think to themselves, well, hey, man, there's millions of women that go through this too. Yeah. But you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of options. You got motherfuckers throwing money at you, pamphlets at you, fucking Section 8 housing at you. We don't get that. We don't get that. So all of this that I've been talking about for the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes or so, is to set up where that emotional baggage comes from. It can come from many places. It can come from many sources. But you have to take the initiative in your life. There is such a thing as eventually it's going to be on you. No, you didn't make the problems. No, you didn't make yourself suffer. You got fucking stuck with it. You got fucked in every way that you can get fucked. And then guess what? Those people move on. They die. They go down the road to some other family to destroy them. And you're left sitting. And you have to figure out how to deal with that lack of love, that lack of respect, which inevitably turns in and gives you a lack of self-respect. And there's no shortage of motherfuckers that sit out here all day long and will tell you, oh, you need to do this. You need. Hammerhand, don't you think you would look better with a toupee? Well, son, if you just went to the gym and you got jacked, things would be so much better. I've gone to the gym for a good share of my adult life. I don't have the issues and the body problems that a lot of people have. And I'm going to be honest with you, my heart goes out to them. To look at yourself and think that you are less than, that's a terrible fate. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I wouldn't. And even though I sit around and I poke fun at people that look a certain way and that act a certain way, I do absolutely recognize the fact that these people are suffering. Where I draw the line is that you don't get to let your suffering bleed over on me. If you want to talk, we'll talk all day long. You want to scream, you want to argue, want to yell, I'm not doing nothing about that. That's not my position in life. My position in life is, it's pretty secure now. It's pretty good. Life is good. Life has been good for a long time. The blessings of waking up every single day, breathing that air, have been there for a long time. I love life. I love my life. And I have loved my life for a long time. There was a point where I didn't. And you just got to get to the next day. That love and respect is not going to come from external sources. All that's going to do is massage you. And when that love and respect is removed or it diminishes in some way, you will be right back in the same fucking boat that you thought you got out of. I often speak about people using other people, not in a necessarily malicious way, but it can become that, to pull things from them. Oh, I want a little bit of that respect. I want a little bit of that love. Oh, she hugs me great. Oh, he shakes my hand like a man. And they pop that into these holes that they have inside of them, spiritually, ethically, morally. And then what happens when that goes away? You're right back where you started. You have to fix the issues inside of you. At the very, very least, the bare goddamn minimum, the bare minimum is that you have to learn how to live with the things inside of you. That requires some attitude adjustment. That requires the ability to recognize that your life means more than the trash that somebody swept into it. You have to be able to understand that. And that requires letting go of some things. Only when you're ready, though. I've been told that, and I was not ready. You'll know when you're ready, because it'll happen. There are things that I live with to this day that came from years of rigorous physical, mental, spiritual, sexual abuse. That's just the way it was for me, for my brother. And we spent large chunks of life trying to figure things out. And I think for the most part, we're okay. But it stays with you. It's part of you. You can't divorce yourself from it like they would divorce themselves from you. You can't. You have to figure out how to live with the things that have happened to you in your life, the things that you thought you should have gotten, but you didn't. You're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised a bride or a pack of awesome friends. You're not promised these things. But every day that you wake up, you have the promise of that life. And that matters more than anything at the end of the day.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about
I've been sitting for about an hour thinking about the things that have been popping off here in the world with all of these men that are popping and going crazy. But is it really crazy? I don't know. Well, it's not entirely true. I have my thoughts on it. But men have nothing to lose anymore. You see? If you don't have the possibility to begin with, it shortens up a lot of things in life. It certainly does diminish your options. What I'm talking about is the way that men intend, and not only do, but intend and carry out their own execution, their own suicides. Whether they decide that they're going to walk into a FedEx building in Indianapolis, a nightclub in Orlando, a McDonald's in California, a post office in anywhere USA. You have to think about what is exercising this mind to the point of rupture. Not rapture, rupture. A man that has nothing to lose is the most dangerous thing in creation. We have seen that time and time and time again, and we still exercise the same policies, the same attitudes, the same ists and isms that always bring about this type of strife and struggle in the population. Women do act a certain way when real strife shows up at their door. Men act a certain way too. It's not that we haven't learned the lesson. It's that the lesson keeps getting taught. It keeps getting rebranded. It keeps being retold with a spin here, a flick here, a flop there, a sentence changed, a paragraph deleted or inserted. That's what the problem is. Human beings don't live long enough, really, to effect a more permanent type of change on society, on civilization. That's a distressing thought. Well, it would be to somebody that cared. I'm not saying that I don't care. Okay, I'm saying that I don't care. You see, I'm doing me. You should be doing you. Get your minds out of the gutter. There is danger lurking everywhere. The chance to walk outside of your door and get significantly harmed or dead exists almost on a daily basis. It just depends on whose proximity you're in when they detonate, when they go off. And when these men go off, they go off like a bomb. But it's nothing compared to the thermonuclear weapon that are women. And I know some folks are going to raise an eyebrow and they're going to be like, what? I've never heard of a female mass shooter. Never heard of such a thing. You're absolutely wrong, Hammerhand. You're wrong. No, that's because their form of insanity is endorsed. Their form of insanity is pushed in the mainstream, everywhere, every single minute of every single day. And you've just become numb to it. What are we looking at? 1.5 billion killed, murdered children. We look at the insanity of the headlines out here. Yeah, somebody walked into a FedEx in Indianapolis and blew away their colleagues. But nobody said anything about all of the dead kids at the Planned Parenthoods in Indianapolis that were being dissected, liquefied, and used for stem cell or sold overseas. It's just a clump of cells, right? Now, any insanity that a man or a white male or a beta Negro puts out, guess what? It's nothing. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing in comparison to your female counterparts. All the wars in all of the world's history don't add up to their body count. Keep that in mind when people are trying to convince you of how evil you really are. The descent that you're seeing, the collective exhaling that men are putting on all over the world, is because they no longer have a place. You see, everyone and everything around them has been encouraged to shed and shuck, redefine themselves, remold, break out of that patriarchal frame, baby. You're worth it. Except you. You have to keep the lights on. You have to go and bring home the bacon. You have to kill it. You have to cook it. You have to feed your kids with it. You got to go to the nuclear plant, take care of that. You got to man the submarines and the aircraft carriers. You have to fight the wars under the penalty of death over there or death over here. You got to go clean out the sewers. You got to go do random sanitation. And you got to double mask while you're doing it. Women are always the first ones to cede their independence and their authority over themselves to Big Daddy Government. They're always the first ones. They're the first ones that are tested for any type of brainwashing. They're the first ones that are tested to front any kind of movement. They're the first ones to fold, buckle, knuckle under, and sell the fuck out. And because there is such a large population of men that have been raised as females, they're going to go with them. And you have to let them go. The perks of being a man are still there if you can be a man. Don't let people tell you that your genitalia don't define you, because it absolutely does. Don't let people tell you that there's 37 shades of fucking gender, because there's absolutely not. Don't let people try to convince you and brainwash you of this foolishness, because as soon as they get a foothold in your head, it's not your head anymore. Do you understand that? Do you know what that means? That means you're giving credence to psychopathy. You're opening your mind to psychopathic thoughts. You're allowing someone that is less than you to influence you. That's never a good idea. Not if you expect any kind of peace or longevity in your life. Not if you expect any type of financial security, emotional security, spiritual, physical well-being. It goes right in the shitter that fast. Ask me how I know. Gents, the reason that men pop off the way that they do is because they understand innately that they're being oppressed and suppressed at the point of a gun. Jail, death, beatings, savage discipline that they haven't asked for, that they did not earn. And none of that matters because someone else's feelings must be assuaged. I don't see this with MGTOW men. If you are lucky enough, fortunate enough to come out of your red pill rage, well, then you're lucky and fortunate. A lot of people don't. A lot of people stick a gun in their mouth and they go to heaven. I can't believe that men that are put through that go to hell, even if they do take their own lives. I know what the book says, but I think that there's a special place up there for people that are tortured here and can't find their way out of it. As a special aside, tomorrow is my daughter's prom. My daughter hasn't spoken to me in almost 4 years. And I've said many, many times, I don't wake up every single day mourning the fact that somebody chose not to be a part of my life. That's what I don't do. They made a choice. I hate the choice. I can't stand the choice. But at the end of the day, living, being okay, is more important to me than somebody that doesn't want anything to do with me, even if they're blood. Happy prom. I hope that she has a great time. But it's a strange thing to think about somebody that I haven't seen for nearly 4 years. I don't know her anymore. I don't know who she is anymore. I don't know what she likes and dislikes other than me. I don't know what kind of fears she has. I don't know what makes her smile anymore. It was 14 years of hard-fought fathering, parenting, up in fucking smoke on the wishes and the whims of somebody else. And I'm not unique. How many of you have gone through this, are going through this? These are the things that make men kill themselves. They lose their sanity, their grip, their compassion for life, and they start annihilating life because they cannot bear the burden, the pain. They didn't have an outlet. They didn't have a way to take care of business so that they could survive to the next day. Every day above dirt. Like I say, it's a good day. I don't need anybody to come in here and say, keep your head up, champ. Keep going, big man. We're with you, Hammer. I didn't tell you this to garner sympathy. I told you this because I understand where you're coming from. I told you this because I want you to know that you're not alone. You'll never be alone, not with us. People will come and they will go, but there will always be the philosophy, no matter who is preaching it. And it's easy to identify because it does not endorse the same traits, qualities, and characteristics of feminism and Marxism and communism, or capitalism for that matter. It's all about you. Get your asses out there and live, gentlemen. Do that thing.
Hey, you're pretty famous, right? Hey, you know what? I'm pretty famous too. Ain't that right? That's right. That's right. You know, maybe I can give you an autograph, huh? What you say, big boy?
None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me!
The Americans have made a fatal mistake. They don't seem to understand. We aren't the ones up against the wall. It's them. They have unwittingly locked themselves in with a new breed of man. These new men are not beholden to anyone. They do not suffer shame or fear, remorse or regret. They recognize fully who has set this world upon them, and they are content to sit back and watch it burn. This new man does not share the wants or the needs of the common female. He rises above the lower brain functions of sex and grunting, orgasms and pain. He has molded himself into a form of efficiency never before seen. Record low birth rates, record low marriages, record divorce, jewelry stores closing by the thousands. You can't even sell nappies. They would have you believe this is a woman's choice. It's her. She's waiting. She's understood that her career is more important than her child, than her sole function in life. They are incorrect. Of course, they will never say this. Oh yes, these blood-sucking cretins have pulled the well dry. And with it their futures. Your culture has been thoroughly deconstructed. You now have sitting Marxists and communists in your presidency, your House, and your Senate. That is confirmation that your culture has been dissolved. These were not flukes, nor were they accidents. These people were voted in. They were confirmed by the populace. The population of people voted for this. Those of you that are holding on to your old ways, you need to remend them. Fix them to you and you alone. Gentlemen, there is only one way forward from my perspective. That is your entry into the Ghost Nation. Ghost them. All of them. Be seen when you wish it to be, and disappear into the night when it suits your purpose. Remove your monies and your resources from these vampiric harlots. And I don't only speak about the female population as such. As you are well aware, many men seek to take advantage of you. Your government seeks to monetize you up until your death, and even beyond, if they could. There are 100 million lost whores out here in this world, all wanting the same thing. Everything from themselves, for themselves, and your commitment, your servitude. Do not give it to them. Your political climate in America has changed. It has been changing. This is the failure of generations of men, not just you. It has never been more clear that the vast majority has been weaponized against the worker, the minority of the population. Now. No, this is not the proletariat and the bourgeoisie battle that you're so familiar with. This is something else. This is the have-nots being given power to legislate the haves into oblivion. Right now in the States, farms are being foreclosed on. Entire crops are being paid by your government to be destroyed. A food crisis is being engineered in your country, the breadbasket of the world. The short-sightedness of the white liberal, the power broker, and the feminist mob never took into account MGTOW. Gentlemen, as I sit on the M1 outside of Luton, a thought ran through my mind. It was one of confirmation. I've never been more convinced that America has fallen. Good men, you are no longer in a struggle for culture. You're no longer in a struggle to save anything except yourselves. You no longer have the duty of disposability, the duty to be a utility. You no longer have the duty to provide and protect. The only duty that you have now is to you, to yourself. Gentlemen, you carry all of the cards. All of the odds are in your favor. You are the producer. You have directed and starred in your own life. Do not give it away. Deny this brainwashing, this indoctrination, this molestation of your true selves. Pursue your true selves, and do not be frivolous with the time that you have left. Until our next meeting, be well.